the hype around this book. I thought I'd be in for a treat. That, however, was not the case. I found it to be more annoying than anything else. For the potential reader, let me save you the suspense. It's about a kid who tells about what's happened to him over the past couple of weeks. And it's a story anyone could write. Pathetic. Oh yeah? I mean, have you tried living a life? Have you tried feeling a life? Anybody could write this? I mean, first of all, this guy has had trauma. Remember that? I mean, he's a teenager. Remember that? I mean, sorry. This guy's a feeler, and if you can't feel, I guess you're right. You shouldn't have read the book, and you certainly couldn't write it. Thank you.
Catcher in the Rye. John W. says, Holden Caulfield is a phony. No, John W., you're a phony.
So awful in every single way. There were few parts in which I enjoyed or thought were tolerable. Other than that, this book makes me want to kill myself by paper cuts. I don't know what to say to that one. I mean, that's just silly. Go buy the book, read it. Salinger knows. You don't.
It's about a loser who loses and keeps losing and is too stupid to learn a darn thing. I hated this book because it does not foster any ideals of facing adversity successfully. Instead, it's a bunch of teen angstiness passed off as literature. Teen angstiness. Angstiness, is that a word?
Worst book ever. No story, curse word, every third word seems to be written by a teenage delinquent. How did this get published and have notoriety? Well, I think you already spoke to the notoriety, you know, the curse word every few minutes. That'll usually do it. No story. I mean, this guy, this is his internal story. Have you no life? I mean, have you no story? I'm sorry. You're just, I mean, forget it. Go get published.
Jeff N. says, I just fail to realize the literary wonder that this turd with covers became. I don't understand that. It is as exciting as watching a tree grow or paint drying. I think you should redo your review.
I would rather light myself on fire than read another sentence of that again. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that is really amazing. I read this book about every 10 years and I'm always moved. All it takes me is just the first few sentences every time. I mean, this guy is going through it. He's sharing his soul. He's a teenager. Remember that? Were you ever a teenager? I'm not so sure. But this book, it deserves all the accolades, and go light yourself on fire.
All right, I was so disappointed by this book. I picked it up because I watched a documentary on John Lennon's killer and the influence that book had on him, and it made me curious. Reading this book was a waste of time. I guess I shouldn't take reading advice from a murderer. If I want to listen to someone complain for that long about nothing, I want to be getting paid. I wouldn't have finished this book if I hadn't been stuck on a plane with it for 10 hours. Well, may I suggest you use your 10 hours to learn proper grammar? I wouldn't have finished this book. Bye.